This is Kim Peck at My Stamping Garage. This is the third video in a series of a to-go class that I did. And so if I'm referring to your class kit, that's what I'm talking about. If you didn't actually purchase the class, you still can contact me with this information here. If you're watching to actually make your cards in your kit, then just follow along. Okay, this is the third card, and this is probably my favorite card in the series. With this kit, you've gotten your Forever Fern stamp set. And so the sayings on this card are from that one as well. And then the thing I love about this card is it's a pop-up and it will sit like that and it says, hello, you can do this. So if you want to use other sayings from other sets, you could actually make this into any card you need. But I'm trying to stick with things that are mostly in this stamp set. So to get started, I have used, for the base on this, I used the thick white cardstock, and that should be in your packet. The very first thing we want to do is we're going to add our designer series paper. And this is the Forever Greenery paper. I totally love this paper. In one of the other videos, I showed all the different sheets that come in that. So you're going to put these along the edge and just leave a little bit of a border. Do that on both sides. And then for this middle piece, it's going to look like this. And I have pre-embossed this for you, but I did want to show you in case you want to make this card again. I have on your flyer that came in your kit, I have all of the sizes for the paper, so you can always do this if you want to. And what I did here, this is a 3 1/4 wide, and then it's the 8 1/2 long. So it's basically a strip off of an 8 1/2 by 11 piece of paper. And then I scored at 4 1/4. And if you started this way, it's 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. So basically when you fold this in half, it's going to fit perfectly into this little notch. One thing to be aware of when you texturize, make sure you texturize on the side with the score line. I didn't do that several times and had to start over. So, okay, but I've pre-done that for you, so you don't need to worry about that part for this. Fold your piece in half, and before you adhere anything, you're going to want to do the inside stamping. So I'm going to lay this aside, open this up, and then we're going to stamp along the base with this stamp and our Old Olive ink. And this time I did not stamp off because the paper that we're using has the actual Old Olive in it. So, and I'm just going to stamp right along the edge. And then I'm going to use the saying that says you can do this, and I'm using that in the Pretty Peacock. And again, keep this down toward the bottom because when your card stands up, you're going to want it to still show. And then the eucalyptus, I'm also going to use the Pretty Peacock. It's funny, when I first saw the Pretty Peacock, I thought it was green, or blue, but it is more of a green blue, so it works really nicely for this. Okay, and then, so all of our stamping on this base is now done. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that to the card base. And you're just going to line up the edges with the top and the bottom. And you may or may not have a little bit of a ridge here between. If it overlaps with these, don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, so now you've got that part done. And then to cut these out, I used the layering oval framelits. And actually, I used a stitched shapes framelits because I wanted the stitching. But you could just use one of these on your own if you wanted to put one inside here. They're made to go together, the ones that are in here. These are not stitched, but they do have the scallops in the plane. Okay, so for this piece, this is the mint macaron, and the key here is to make sure that you only attach this to the bottom so that when it pops up, this is going to stick up. So to do that, I found the easiest thing to do was just add some adhesive right under that line. Don't go above the line. And then center this piece on top of that. So then when I stand that up, that piece will stick up and won't stick to this edge. And then on my oval, I am going to stamp my hello, and that again is going to be in the old olive. And I'm going to put it right toward the edge there and stay to the left again. And then you will have this piece pre-cut for you. And with that one, I'm just going to put it along the edge here. You can use glue dots for this, or you can use your adhesive in just certain places. You don't necessarily have to cover the entire back. The other option is if you're cutting these out on your own, you could use the new adhesive sheets. They work great. They put adhesive on the entire back and make it into a sticker. Okay, so then that's there. And the last part to stamp will be this piece in old olive onto your small piece. If you have the dies, you can go ahead and use the dies to cut that out. If not, you're going to have to cut this by hand. I'm not allowed to sell pre-stamped images, so I couldn't pre-stamp and cut it out for you. I did mine already. I used the dies for mine. And then for this, I did pop it up with a dimensional. And if you want to put 2, you can put 2, however many you feel comfortable with. You could also use the mini ones on this if you wanted to. And then I'm just going to pop this up right on top of the piece that's already there. And then put all of that onto that mint macaron oval, scalloped oval here. Just make sure that it's relatively straight. Okay, and now the last thing I need to do is put my gilded gems on there. And so I did find my pick tool this time. I'm going to pick these up. And what I did with this one, oh, looks like I don't have my mini glue dots. If you have mini glue dots, they're the best thing to use for this. If you don't, you can just cut one of these and use it. And you're going to use this on the big piece on the back. The reason I'm doing this is it's better for that to be sticking up. The mini glue dot fits perfectly on the back of there. You won't have to cut anything off. I may have to trim this just a bit. Take the backing off and then put that one down before you do the other ones, because you're going to want it to hold up the card. And if you just put that flat, sometimes it won't hold the card up. So that it's important to put that dimensional on the back. So there I have that, and then I can decide where I want the other two to go so that it's positioned so that it looks great when it's open. And in general, it's just kind of going to be a rough triangular shape. May not be a perfect triangle, but just spread them out a little bit. So there is your finished card. So that one looks a lot harder than it is. I like that card for that reason. It's very simple to do. If you have questions, again, this is my contact information. Thanks for watching.